Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We will give everyone a moment or two to join and we'll get started. Okay, well, we will begin the session. We are here. This is the second info session to discuss the three City of San Antonio 2025 construction grants, and we'll cover information about all three of those programs in this session. We'll also go over the program timelines and deadlines, the eligibility requirements, and the documents that you'll be asked to submit for each program, as well as what the funds can cover if awarded. So this session is being offered in both English and Spanish. And so if you prefer to listen in Spanish, all you'll need to do is click the small globe icon called interpretation at the bottom of the screen, and then select mute original audio.
Buenas tardes. Para escuchar en español, en los controles de la reunión, selecciona el botón de interpretación, selecciona el idioma que desea escuchar, español. Para escuchar solo el idioma interpretado, seleccione silenciar audio original. Esto es opcional.
And before we begin, I just want to remind everyone that there is an option to put questions in the Q&A. So at any point in the presentation, feel free to post questions there, and we'll answer those as we go along, as well as during Q&A time at the end of the presentation. So you know who I am. My name is Lilian Spenley. I am the Development Operations Manager here at Lift Fund. I've worked on all of our grant programs that Lift Fund has offered since 2020. And we are delighted to have with us today Margaret Toscano from the City of San Antonio Economic Development Department. Lift Fund and the city have worked together for many years to offer all kinds of small business support programs to San Antonio small businesses, including pandemic recovery grants, construction support grants, as well as loan programs to bring the interest rate down to 0%, as well as technical assistance and business coaching programs. So thank you, Margaret, for being here today, for making this program possible, and for all of the city's support in the past.
Yes, thank you for that introduction. Again, my name is Margaret Toscano, so I am a small business manager with the Economic Development Department, and I had a role in developing the construction grant. But first of all, I want to say thank you for all of y'all for taking the time to learn about the upcoming construction grant program that the city has to offer. We are happy that, of course, we are partnered with Lift Fund, who will be doing the administration and the reviewing of the application for the grants. We understand that the city construction projects can cause disruptions to small business. And as this is our fourth round of construction grants, we have learned along the way and received valuable feedback from stakeholders and business owners like yourself to build a grant program to assist small businesses in all construction phases that you may be impacted. So through this presentation, we are going to be going over, there will be 3 separate grants. So we have a pre and a post and an active grant. The stabilization grant is what we call our active phase. The accelerated recovery grant is our post-construction phase, and our mitigation grant, which is the pre-construction. So Leanne will be able to provide more details on each one. And again, thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, submit that on the Q&A. And I will be here to answer any questions at the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret, so much. And we already have one question in the Q&A about whether a particular address is in one of the eligible zones, and we'll show you later on in just a bit where you can find, we have an address lookup tool on the website, and so you'll be able to enter your business location, and it will tell you which of the 3 programs you may qualify for based on your business location. So to elaborate on what Margaret was just sharing, kind of a brief overview of the 3 programs. The Accelerate Recovery program is for businesses in areas where construction has recently finished. The maximum grant amount is $5,000. The eligible zones where construction had been going on are Bynum Phase 2, Bulverde Phase 1, Broadway, and North New Braunfels Phase 1. The application for both the Accelerate and Stabilization program opened on May 1st and will go until 5 p.m. on May 30th. And the Accelerate program is specifically to help businesses make improvements either to the interior or the exterior of their business location. The Stabilization grant is for businesses in areas where the active construction is happening right now. And those zones include the Zona Cultural, the South Alamo Streets, and North New Braunfels Phase 2. The grant amount for this program is somewhere between $5,000 and $35,000, and that will be based on some things which we'll cover when we discuss that program. And this grant is actually for pretty much general operating expenses, all the types of things that you need to run your business day to day. And then lastly, the mitigation grant, which will be opening on June 2nd, so it's not open yet, is for businesses located in the Marbach Road area streets where construction will be coming over the next several months. And that grant is up to $2,000, and it is intended specifically to help you cover sort of marketing and promotion costs to help let your customers know that you're still there even once the construction has started. All of the information that we're covering today will be is found on the program website, which is COSAConstructiongrants2025.com. And the recording of today's session, as well as these slides, will be posted there within a few days of this session. So you're always welcome to go back and re-listen to this presentation. So we're going to start with the Stabilization Construction Grant. And again, this is the grant that's for businesses in areas where active construction is happening. The program has $1 million allocated to the funds. It's actually open to both small businesses and specific nonprofits who receive revenue from ticket sales for events that nonprofit puts on and offers. The grants, as we just said, are between $5,000 and $35,000. So the timeline for this program, as we mentioned, the application actually opened on May 1st, and it will remain open until 5 p.m. May 30th. So really want to underscore that 5 p.m. deadline. It's not midnight. We always have folks trying to submit late the evening of the deadline, but it's got to be in by 5 p.m. Then once the application period has closed, we'll begin the review process with our team, and that'll go for about 2 months, beginning early June until early August. Shortly after that, about a week after the review begins, we'll begin sending out notifications to the first selected recipients. And then a week after that, the disbursements of the actual funds will begin to go out. For both that award notification phase and the grant disbursement phase, they will last over about a 2-month period. And this program does have a scoring mechanism. And so the highest scored applications will be reviewed and notified first, followed by the applications with lower scores. And so If you don't hear from us right on June 11th or June 18th, don't despair. It's an ongoing process that lasts about 2 months. For the stabilization program, as we said, all of the funds must be used for business-related expenses. So that might be payroll, working capital, your rent, payments to buy inventory or supplies, equipment, utilities, all that type of thing. The award amount within that range of 5 to 35,000 is determined based on your net income comparing 2024 to 2023, and we would award 100% of that difference up to the $35,000 max. The applicants can only apply, each business can only receive one grant, and we can only make one grant per each physical address within the city. However, if you do have two businesses that are completely separate at different locations, you've got different financials for them, and you can provide all of that separate information, you are able to submit a separate application for each one of those businesses and be considered. The criteria for this grant, you have to have a minimum of 10,000 in gross sales in 2023. You must have been owning and have registered the business on or before January 1, 2023. Your business must be a type that requires customer foot traffic for your day-to-day operations. You must meet the SBA size standard for small business. And there's a link on the website to the SBA size standard lookup tool, so you can check your business to make sure that you meet that criteria. That is based on the 6-digit NAICS code that's on your tax return. So be sure to pull out your most recent tax return and look for that code, which is called the NAICS or the business activity code, before you start digging into this tool. You must have at least a $5,000 reduction in your net income in 2024 compared to 2023. So the 2023 number needs to be larger by at least 5,000 than the 2024. And you'll see here and on the website which line of your tax return we'll be using to make that determination. You need to currently be in operation and not have filed for bankruptcy. You'll need to be within one of the eligible construction zones for this program and plan to remain open for at least a year after you receive the grant funds. And again, you'll be able to check your business address on the program website. And then, as we said, for nonprofits, you must have revenue from ticket sales for in-person attendance at your venue or a series of events. Businesses can be pretty much any type of industry that requires foot traffic for your operations, but you can't be gambling related, sexually oriented, payday and auto loan provider, or liquor store. You also need to be the majority owner of the business. So if you have partners, make sure that that person who's the majority share partner is the one who submits the application for the business. If you are equal shares, so 50-50% with your partner, either partner may submit the application. The documents that we'll be requesting for this program include your formation document. So whether that's your DBA or assumed name certificate from the county clerk's office, or your certificate of formation or incorporation from the Secretary of State, we'll ask for that. You'll need both your 2023 and 2024 filed business tax return. If you have not yet filed for 2024 because you submitted an extension, perhaps, we will just for 2024 accept a year-end financial statement for that year in place of the return. We'll need your driver's license or other government-issued photo ID, so passport is fine, your most recent business utility bill, and we really want to see either water, gas, or electric, so no cell phone or internet bills. If you don't have a utility bill because it may be, included in your lease agreement, we can definitely take the lease agreement in place of that. We'll need your first quarter of this year, either Form 941 or otherwise a payroll report, maybe that you generate out of QuickBooks or whatever system you use. If, of course, it's just you, you're the only person who works at the business, the only employee, obviously we won't need that. So you would be exempt from this document. We'll need your most recent business bank statement. And then additionally, we'll need a grant resolution just from LLCs and corporations and partnerships. And this grant resolution is a document that we'll provide to you in the application. So it's not something that you have to create or pull. You'll just download it from the application, fill it out, and include it when you submit. And then just for nonprofits, we'll also need your list of your board of directors and your 501c3 determination letter. So the eligible zones for this program, as we said, are the Zona Cultural, South Alamo, and North New Braunfels Phase 2. The scoring that we mentioned, it's going to be based on 3 factors. So, and the maximum score will be 100. The first factor is if you've received a prior grant that was offered through a partnership with Lift Fund and the city. Next, we'll look at your losses. So the greater your losses, the more points you receive in this category. And then the time in business relative to when the construction in your area started. So the longer that you've been operating prior to the construction, the more points in this category you would receive. Moving on now to the second program, the Accelerate Recovery Program, which is for those businesses in areas where construction has recently been completed. So there's $120,000 allocated to this grant, and the grant amounts are a flat $5,000 each. So if you're eligible, you would receive the $5,000. This program is only open to for-profit businesses. The only one of the 3 programs that nonprofits qualify for is the stabilization grant. The timeline for this program is exactly the same as the stabilization program. So applications opened May 1 and will continue to be open until May 30th at 5 p.m. And then shortly after that, the review, notification, and disbursement phase begin, all concluding at the end of August. For this program, as we said, it's intended to help you make improvements either to your interior or exterior of your commercial space. And we have a very specific list of examples of what that might include. So the materials and labor for painting, power washing or sandblasting, purchasing outdoor furniture or cooling or heating systems, for if you have like a patio area. Same thing for the interior if you're wanting to buy tables and chairs. Other materials and service related to landscaping, lighting for your lighting, installing water efficient appliances, doing repairing the stonework on the exterior of your building. Same for windows and signage, and then also interior cleaning of the flooring. A few more actually. So yes, extended list on same thing on signage, window framing, or stucco. The same as the prior program, you are limited to 1 grant per business. However, if you have multiple businesses that qualify, you can submit an application for each one. The application criteria include having a minimum of $10,000 in gross sales in 2024. You must have owned and registered the business on or before 2024. The You must require foot traffic from customers for your day-to-day operations. Again, meet that SBA size standard, currently be operating and not have filed for bankruptcy, and be in an eligible construction zone, and not and intend to stay open for at least 1 year from the date that you receive the grant funds. The just as before, businesses that are in these categories of gambling, sexually oriented businesses, or liquor stores are not allowed to apply. And again, you must be the majority owner of the business in order to be the one to submit the application. The required documents for this program are your formation document, your 2024 filed business tax return, the most recent utility bill and bank statement, 5 clear photos of the area of your location that you're planning on improving, where the upgrades will be made. And then if you lease the property from a property owner, if you are not the owner of the building, you'll need a notarized letter from them authorizing these improvements to be made. And then lastly, of course, a detailed description and quote for the work to be done. So that would be, issued by the contractor if they're the ones doing the work, or a quote or purchase order from for whatever equipment you might be purchasing. Again, the eligible zones for this program are Bynum Phase 2, Bulverde Phase 1, Broadway Corridor, and North New Braunfels Phase 1. Lastly, the mitigation grant, and this is the one that has not yet opened, but will be opening on June 2nd. $80,000 have been allocated to this program. The grants amounts will be flat $2,000, and they're open to eligible for-profit businesses. The application timeline for this one, the application period will be June 2nd to June 30th. The review phase will then begin right in early July once the application has opened or closed. The award notifications and the disbursements will then begin shortly after that. And I realize, my apologies, I see here it says June 9th for the award notifications. That should be July 9th. We'll have that corrected before we post these slides. Apologies. This program is intended to help specifically with marketing efforts to let your customers know that you're still operating and offering services during the construction period. So it can be used for social media marketing, getting signage, for outside your building, other marketing services, both products, softwares, licenses, or the consultants to help you do that, website design or updates, and then implementation costs if you are wanting to, if it makes sense for your business to sign on to services like Favor or Uber Eats or other delivery services, so that if customers have challenges getting to your location, they can still purchase and receive your products. The eligibility requirements for this program are that you must have a minimum of $10,000 gross sales in 2024. You'll need to have been owning and registered the business before January 1, 2024. Be a business that requires foot traffic, meet that SBA size standard, currently be operating, not have filed for bankruptcy, and be in one of the eligible construction zones and plan to remain open for at least a year. The same industries as the other programs are prohibited, so liquor stores, sexually oriented businesses, auto and payday loan providers, gambling related businesses. The document list for this program are quite short. The only items that we'll need are that business formation document, your 2024 business tax return, your ID, your most recent business utility bill, and bank statement. The eligible construction zones are the Marbach Road area streets And again, this is for businesses where construction will be starting in the next few months or quarters. What we'll do now is actually go out to the program websites and show you where all of this information that we've covered can be found, and where you can find the link to apply for the 2 programs that are currently open. For all the programs, they typically take about 30 minutes to an hour to complete, and you can go in, get the application started, and hit, save your progress and return to the application later until the application closes. You will need all of the required documents in order to be able to submit the application. So you will not be able to submit an incomplete application. Our grant team, for any questions at any point in the process, can be reached at 800-923-9551, or you can email us at sbgrants@liftfund.com. And again, that website that we'll visit in just a moment is COSA Construction Grants 2025.com. Just a word on a few other services that LiftFund offers. So we offer loans for small businesses at all phases, whether you're a startup or a long-time existing business. We offer also coaching and education through our events and one-on-one coaching with our Business Resource Hub. And you can check out our upcoming workshops at liftfund.com/events, or schedule a meeting, a one-on-one meeting with one of our coaches at liftfund.com/business-support. So we will go now to the website. And I see we have an additional question. Yes, so just a note maybe to share with the city. Several businesses near these construction zone areas have already had to shut down. Just noting that businesses are really struggling and are kind of on their last bit of reserves, and hoping that, some additional addresses may be, considered either now or in upcoming grants. Thank you for your comment. So as you can see here, we've got a central page where you can access all 3 of the grant programs, and you've got, again, our contact information to reach out to our team. The website, of course, is also offered in Spanish, and you can change the language by clicking the Español button at the top. So we'll go to the Accelerate Recovery site, and note that once you're in any particular of the program's pages, you can easily switch between them here at the top right corner. But for every program, you'll see the summary of the intent of the program, the application period, as well as the Apply Now button for the Accelerate and Stabilization programs, which are open. The same Apply Now button will be available starting June 2nd for the mitigation program once it opens. You'll see all of the eligible uses of the funds, the eligibility requirements, and here's where you'll be able to look, check the address lookup tool and verify if you are within an eligible zone. And the tool will advise you which of the 3 grants you may be able to qualify for based on your address. You also have here that SBA size standard lookup tool where you can put in your business activity or NAICS code and see if you fall within the parameters for the SBA's definitions. You'll see the list of required documents, the program timeline, and then for grant follow-up, it's important to mention for any of these 3 programs, if you are selected, we will send out a survey in March 2026, 2027, and 2028 to see how your business is doing in the wake of the grant funds, how you use the funds, and kind of what your general challenges and needs are at those points in time. We do this for all of our grant programs, and it's very useful for helping Lift Fund and the city to consider the design of future programs and understand what needs need to be met. This is the second info session, and as we mentioned, the slides and the recording of this session will be posted here within a few days. You can already review the recording from the prior session that we held on April 29th. And then lastly, we have a few frequently asked questions, just to highlight a few that we get all the time. The sole proprietors always want to verify if they are eligible. You absolutely are, as long as you have that filed DBA with the county clerk. If you have if you don't have a utility bill, again, we can take a lease agreement, or if you have a like a monthly invoice from your landlord, requesting the rent, we can take that, as long as it shows your name or the business name and the address at the top, so we can connect you to that business location. Lastly, the grant funds are taxable for all three programs. And if selected, you will receive a 1099 from LIFT Fund in January 2026. So that's an important thing to think about and discuss with your bookkeeper should you be selected. The same layout applies for all three programs. And the only difference on the stabilization grant is that you'll be able to find that scoring methodology for the point system for that program. There is no scoring methodology for the other two programs. It is on a first come, first served basis in terms of, who's submitting the application earliest. That's who we'll begin with reviewing first. That's everything that we have to share, but we certainly want to leave plenty of time for your questions. And I will just highlight, of course, at the bottom, you can find on any page our grant team's contact information. And again, that's 800-923-9551, and email us at sbgrants@liftfund.com. And we're happy to help.
It looks like somebody has their hand up for a question.
Yes, please feel free to type that question into the Q&A, and we'll be happy to answer that. Great. Okay, so the question is, if you did substantial improvements to your property in 2023 or 2024, would the cost of that work be eligible for consideration under the Accelerate Recovery Program? It would not be eligible, so the work that you would be doing needs to be completed, not have been started, and needs to be completed after receiving the grants. We'll wait just a few. Oh, great, wonderful. Is there any way to modify the grant to accommodate this? It seems to fall within the intent of the grant. I can let Margaret answer that, but
yeah,
go ahead, Margaret.
Yeah, I'll be happy to answer that. So to my understanding, it seems that like, let's say for instance, if this was like a 3-part phase of your construction, so the work that has already been started before the grant and is already completed cannot be part of or would not be eligible for this grant. But if there's a phase, let's just say, for instance, like the next phase was to do your painting right now, and you haven't done that, but that's part of your whole entire scope, but that's a part that you have not started, we can definitely take that into consideration since that particular project of your overall scope has not been started or completed. So hopefully that answers your question.
We'll wait. Go ahead, Margaret.
I just want to, just since we have a little bit more time and probably waiting for if anybody else has any questions, the city is having a technical assistance day, or which is basically like to help people that need assistance on their applications and submitting their applications on May 14th at La Villita at 9 a.m. So if you are interested in showing up to have someone from our staff assist you on doing the applications, they will be at the La Villita on May 14 at 9 a.m. If you have any questions, just feel free to call our office too, or Lift Fund, and they can guide you as far as providing you more information or giving you the information over to our team so we can support you on that.
Thank you for mentioning that. And the city has offered several different application assistance days at different points around the city to try and help folks with this process. The person who posted the last question is asking if there are, unfortunately, all of the work for their project was completed earlier. And so, but the business is still very much hurting. Are there any other grants coming up that might be able to help that you're aware of, whether, through the city or elsewhere?
As of right now, I don't have any upcoming grants. I know there's been conversation of, continuing this type of grant program in the near future. But as far as any upcoming grants to kind of assist you on where you're at right now, not particularly with that. And then just to let you know, the accelerated, which is the post-construction, and the mitigation grant, which is the pre-construction, these two are pilot programs. So again, this is the first of its kind, and we are definitely with questions that are coming up, those are things that we would definitely take into consideration to kind of, for next year, if we do this grant again, that we are molding it where it's helping businesses in all avenues on that. But as far as any current grants that may assist you at this time, not that the city may have, but Lift Fund might be able to assist, or may have other partners or programs that they may be able to assist you on that.
Thank you for all of that, Margaret. We're happy to stick around and continue to answer questions. If you don't have any other questions, we have finished the presentation, so you're welcome to hop off. But of course, if you think of any questions, once this presentation is done or after the session in the next few days, again, please feel free to reach out to us at 800-923-9551 or email us at sbgrants@liftfund.com. It doesn't look like we've had any other questions come in, so we will wrap things up, but I thank you all for your interest in the programs, for taking the time to attend this session and learn more about the details. And we hope to work with all of you over the next few weeks as the application period continues. Thank you so much. Good luck and have a great day.